Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are viewing this program from. I'm Yaya Razak, and I'm here again to present to you literature in English on educational tips. The last time we met, we looked at what we really mean by literature in English, the difference between English literature and literature in English, the benefits or the importance of literature in English. And I did mention that in our next edition that we'll be looking at the genres or the branches of literature. So today we want to take a look at the branches of literature. We have three branches of literature, namely prose. What did I say? We have prose, we have drama, and then we have poetry. So making up three genres or branches of literature. Once again, let me go over it again. Prose, drama, and poetry. Now, let me first of all start with prose. We are all familiar with novels, we are familiar with short stories, we are familiar with so many other like history textbooks and so on and so forth. Now, when we talk of prose, now is a genre of literature that is written in chapters and paragraphs. What did I say? Prose is a genre of literature that is written in prose and paragraphs. It's written in prose, chapters and paragraphs, and we have different types of prose. We have different types of prose, but these types of prose are still categorized under two subheadings under prose. That is, we have what is called the fiction part of the prose, and then the non-fiction part of prose. That is, we have fiction and non-fiction. Now, what do we mean by fiction? Now, fiction under prose is the work of literature. That is a work of literature that is written out of the imagination of the writer. What I'm trying to bring out now is that the writer creates everything. The writer creates everything that happens in that novel. In either the novel or the short story. The event, the characters, the location, everything there. Names, just name it. They are from the imagination of the writer. Now, the writer of prose is known as author. What did I say? The writer of prose is called what? Author. Now, as I was saying, when we talk of fiction, everything happens in the imagination of the writer. It's not that it happened anywhere. That's why they call it fiction. That is, fiction means imaginary. What you have there did not happen anywhere. Though one thing about literature, like I said in our last edition, that it looks at our society, looks at people and their culture, their beliefs, their religion, everything. Now, fiction, though we say is from the imagination, is a creation of the imagination of the writer, but then it means at times the writer might create the story out of his or her experience or experiences with people. What he must have witnessed in his society, in his or her society, and so on. So it's not that fiction might not be imaginary in that real sense of it, but then when fiction is written, the writer creates everything in his or her imagination. You understand? Now, when you are talking about prose, I've mentioned that it is written in chapters and paragraphs, and the name of the writer is called author. How do we go about writing prose? Prose is written in past tense. Why? Because it is a narrative form of writing. Prose is a narrative form of writing, and when we say narrative, it means we are talking about past events. We relate past events, things that have happened before now. So that is why prose is written in past tense. And then we have different types of fiction. As we have different types of fiction, under fiction we have novel, we have the short novel, we have fables, we have travelogue, we have and some other things like that. We have short stories. Now when we talk of novels, they are made up of, you have more words. It's made up of more words than any other, than the short novel, having like something like close to like 30,000 or above words. That's what we mean when we talk of novels. Now we have novels written by different writers from every part of the world. We have the African novels, we have those ones that are not African novels. And then there are some novels that are considered as classical novels. Why do I call them classical novels? That is, these are novels that were written in the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th centuries. For instance, novels written by Charles Dickens. When we talk of A Tale of Two Cities, it's a classical novel. When we talk of Oliver Twist, it's a classical novel. When we talk of David Copperfield by Robert Louis Stevenson, and so on and so forth, these are called classical novels. Then we have the contemporary ones, that is, those ones that are written in this our present age. And that is when we talk of writers like our African writer. Let me look at Chinua Achebe. When we talk of people like Professor Wole Soyinka, these are contemporary writers that have written things in this our present age. That is for fiction. Let me go over fiction again. Now, fiction is a work of art that, the creation of the writer's imagination. They are not real events. Now, let me quickly go over non-fiction. Under non-fiction, that is where we have biography, autobiography. That is where we have memoirs. That is where we have travelogue, and that is where we have journals, essays. These are the ones under non-fiction. In our next class, we'll try to dwell more on non-fiction. But before then, remain blessed. But don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you, and God bless.